Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 3 of my Telecaster build, or as I'm calling it, the Scraps Caster. Now then, I've already been busy in the workshop, so let me tell you what I've been doing. Well, first things first, the headstock had glued quite nicely, so I sawed off the waste material from the top and then planed it down flush with the top of the fretboard. The next thing I need to do is to glue the two body blanks together. Well, I've just been spending a bit of time making sure the two edges are flush, and I think I've got that okay now. So I'm about to glue up, and here we are. So let's get some glue on there. Right, well, I'm going to leave this body blank to cure, and let's see what it looks like when it's dry. Anyway, yes, my daughter was having a clear out, and she found these two bits of galvanised metal, and she said, "Would you like those, Dad? I mean, can ducks swim?" So, of course I'd like it. And it just occurred to me that perhaps I can make the bridge out of this. I was going to use some aluminium, but sorry, brass. But I thought, hang on a second, galvanised metal. This is a scraps caster. So I'm going to clean this up. Well, this steel's cleaned up quite nicely, and I'm just wondering if I can bend this into the shape of a Telecaster bridge and perhaps use a bar like this, a metal bar, it's actually quite solid, to create the saddles, or a saddle. I'm thinking of just having one long saddle, perhaps with an adjuster for the height, an adjuster for the intonation. Yeah, I've got a slightly thicker bar as well. So I've got some options there. But the bridge is going to have to wait, because I do need to sort out the fretboard for this guitar. Let me show you what I've got. Now, initially I thought I would go for the sycamore, because I sort of fancied a light fretboard, and I think it goes quite reasonably with the slightly darker wood underneath. But then I've gone for a light headstock, so I'm just wondering whether that's going to look funny, although I could put in a black nut. Okay, I found a black nut, and that would sort of delineate the fretboard from the headstock. Alternatively, of course, I could put a veneer on there and change the colour of that. So I've got some options. I could stain the fretboard, or I could use one of these already pre-cut fretboards, but I just don't think that that really goes. I don't know. It could go with that, yeah. Or that. Zebrano. No, it's very similar. This is Santos Rosewood, and there's another one as well. Do you know what? I've got some walnut as well. I think I'm going to go with a light headstock and perhaps put some darker binding on the sides. Okay, I have the fretboard secured in my fret slot cutting jig, and in this workshop you can have any scale length you like, as long as it's 650mm. So that's where we are. So I need to just adjust this back to the nut position, he says. You can find it. There we are. that's it. Okay, right then, this is set to, I think it's 3mm. I was tempted to set it a bit more than that, but let's see. Yeah, it's set to 3mm. I think we'll go with 3mm. Here we go. We cut until it touches the guide and then move on. And this is going to take a while, so I will come back to you when I'm done. Okay, well there you have it. There's the fretboard. I've allowed myself a couple of millimeters each side for the binding, so I think that's going to look pretty nice, and I think I'll choose quite a dark wood if I can find some. So yeah, I think that's quite a good afternoon's work. I shall come back to this tomorrow. Okay, well, I've put some super glue in the splits on the bodywood. I'm hoping that that will sort of harden it up a bit. So I'm going to leave those to dry, and in the meantime I'm going to have a go at trying to make a bridge out of a sheet of galvanised steel. And I've made myself a little mock-up here. So let me show you. I've printed these dimensions off the internet, and based on that I've made this little mock-up out of a Weetabix box. So my idea is that I'm going to bend the steel in this sort of fashion so that I've got little joints in the corners there, if you can see them. Obviously I'll tidy those up once I get them in place, but the idea is that that will give enough support to allow pressure to be applied there. Now it's going to be a through the body string, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of pressure on this, but well, we'll see, won't we? So all I've got to do now is cut this shape out of this piece of steel, and to do that, well, I'm going to try the jigsaw. Right, well, I've got it clamped down and I've got a really fine metal blade in this jigsaw, so let's see if we can do something with it. Well, it's not quite what I had in mind, but yeah, I'm going to see if I can bend it now. You know, I think I might be onto something here. Early days. Obviously you need to tidy it up a bit. It's a bit scruffy, but I'm sure we can do that. But yeah, well, I never did. Okay, well, I've got this far. So Now I think I'm going to try and work on the saddles, and I think I'm going to do 3 saddles like you would get on a Telecaster. So let's have a go. Now this is a guide bar from an old router, so it's a steel bar. I've done some measurements from this diagram and given myself a little drawing here. So I've marked up on this bar where the screw holes have got to be for the hex screws that are going to lift it up and down. I've now got to work out where the string's got to go, and I think I can just see that now on this template. So let's mark those positions. Okay, going to use a little triangle file here just to mark where those string positions should be. I need to mark where that screw hole's got to be. What I'm doing, I'm filing a flat at every position there needs to be a hole, so that the drill hopefully won't slide. Hopefully that should do the job. Okay, so here's my first attempt, and it's reasonably good. I think I've done it too wide, unfortunately, so that's going to give me some problems. But yeah, I think I've proved that I can do it, and I've got the adjusters here, so that they'll go up and down. Oops, if I can get that in there, so I can adjust that, and there'll be a spring on this to hold it back. Yeah, okay, well, it's a start. Well, it's been a bit of a mixed bag this episode. I've got the body soaking in super glue where the cracks are, so hopefully that should be all right. I've done a bit of proof of concept with the bridge, so that's looking promising. And I've got the fretboard cut ready to put on. We obviously need to do the truss rod, so quite a bit to do. I hope you'll stay with me. Please don't forget to leave a comment. Please don't forget to hit subscribe, and well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.